Shame is one of the toughest and most miserable emotion that any human being can deal with in their life. Shame is feeling bad about who you are. You just feel that you're wrong, that you're already condemned, you're already written off because of whatever insecurity or flaws that you found in yourself, in your family, in your body, whatever. You write yourself off. It's a negative belief. Most times this is as a result of childhood experiences which are very traumatic, and the child learned to cope with that trauma in order to be able to move on with life. This feeling of I'm bad is the coping mechanism. So you're welcome back to my channel. This is the second episode on the 5 obstacles that prevent us from living fully, and we're starting off today with shame. So if you're new to this channel, you're welcome. My name is Mary of Creating with Mary. And if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, you want to consider subscribing to this channel, because on this channel you'll learn. It's all about learning so that we can transform our lives. It's all about unlearning and relearning new information that would cause us to transform our lives to the best version of it that is possible. That is what we do on this channel. It's a community of people with this same goal. Kindly subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any new uploads from me. I will share about my growing up and the experience for me in this video. You want to check it out. So my dad was an alcoholic, and as a young girl growing up who wanted the love, support and engagement with a dad, I never had that. I needed that person to be available to me. I'm sure the other children wanted to have their dad available, to be able to love upon them, support them, bond with them. That wasn't available. It was a sense of loss for me to watch him every day, but to not be able to have that father-daughter relationship. And sometimes when I see him in that his drunken state, staggering home, and I know that other children and other people have seen him, and I know that society and everyone consider that it's an irresponsible behavior. In order for me to cope with whatever it was that I was feeling at the time, because there was no one to talk about it with. This is not common in most homes that you can express yourself as a child. Say, why is dad doing this? So it became something that you don't talk about. We all know that that's what it is, and it was just accepted as that's what it is. And so that was the foundation of shame in my life that I had to carry as a young child. The imperfection or the flaw in my dad's life on my own self. I had to hone it, which was very, very wrong. It was a faulty mechanism, but it helped, because here I am talking about it today with a better sense of judgment of what happened. I wasn't a irresponsible person. I was doing the alcoholic. I felt that the shame belonged to the entire family, including me. And so I took on the shame and repressed whatever feeling I was feeling at the time and went on living. And I also mentioned in another video that I had set of colored teeth, which caused me to feel very self-conscious about myself, that this is not acceptable. This was an insecurity that I felt, that this part of myself wasn't something that was acceptable in society. I don't fit into the societal acceptance of being well put together. And then some other more shameful things happened in my life based on this foundation in childhood, because I felt all these things, I didn't express them to anyone. They remain my own secret. Shame creates this urge to hide the insecurity. You want to keep quiet, silent about it, and not talk about it. And this gives room for the shame to grow stronger within yourself. You feel that feeling more and more every time. A lot of people mistake shame for guilt. Shame and guilt. The feeling of shame and guilt the same kind of feeling, but the only difference between shame and guilt is that shame is feeling bad about who you are, while guilt is feeling bad about what you did. So those are the basic difference between shame and guilt. They are closely related, but shame is about being, considering yourself. You have already decided that you are no good within yourself. You see, there's a flaw in this creation, which is why you're being raised by a single mother because your dad didn't accept you. You tell yourself stories about these things, or that your dad abandoned you. This is abandonment. You're abandoned by your parents or by your mom or by your dad, or that you're obese and you don't fit into the category of humans. We tell ourselves these things in order to be able to just cope at the time. But that's because we're limited in our understanding of emotion and life generally. This video is aiming to shed more understanding, to unpack shame, so that we can reach into the fullness of who we are. I mean, we are beautiful creations. Regardless of the stories we've told ourselves, we are beautiful, magnificent creations. So how do we deal with shame? When we realize shame is one of the toughest emotions anyone can deal with. Most times when we have this kind of tough emotions, we tend to want to numb the emotions. Like we don't want to feel those tough emotions because of how strongly we had to deal with it. But the thing about emotions I've come to understand is when you numb one emotion, you are numbing all the other emotion. So if you say you're numbing anger or shame, you're numbing joy, you're numbing love, you're numbing. You can't selectively numb emotions. All the emotions want to be felt. They're natural. One of the ways to deal with shame is that you have to accept that shame, accept that feeling of this, whatever sensations you have of shame. Accept it, hold it, feel it. Emotions want to be felt. They're like babies. They want to be felt, they want to be held. After they feel comfortable that you felt them, then you can let them go and there won't be a problem. But as long as you push them away, they keep coming back, no matter the age. Some people in there will be 80 years, 70 years, 60 years, 40 years old, remembering childhood stuff and feeling very strongly about them because they never really held those emotions close. They never accepted them. They pushed those emotions away, thinking that when you push them away, you suppress them. That's when you are going to be free of them. No. Whatever happens, you need to accept what happened, accept the feelings that you felt in your body. So in my own case, I was able to do that. And I was able to come into compassion, both for my dad and for myself, because holding him to ransom and saying he wasn't there for me when I needed him didn't help me. Thankfully, I've been able to come into myself. I'm able to understand life a lot more and why some things happen. So I came into compassion. I was kinder to myself, and I was able to correct the negative self-beliefs that I taken on as a result of that alcoholism. These things spiral. So from one level of shame, if you do not deal with it, I mean, it goes on and on and on. So different layers of shame later in life. Things will just happen that will make you feel shameful about who you are. That you're not good enough to be classified in the category of human beings having a vibrant life experience, which is a very wrong and negative belief that we tend to develop in order to make sense of what happened. Compassion is a part of self-care, knowing your wants, knowing your needs, and trying to get them filled. You know, the thing about self and about love is that most of the time we're looking on the outside for what we think we need. But like I always mention, whatever it is you need is inside of us. You see, this creation that you're seeing is such a beautiful and complex creation that science has been trying to unravel who we are, but there's very limited information that has still been gathered so far. So whatever a child needs in this life was incorporated into that child before even giving birth to. But we don't come into that knowledge because even the culture and the society is not helping to support the child in that way. And so the child is conditioned, learns something differently from the society, apart from what was built into them. And that creates some kind of conflict, which doesn't help the child feel safe, which doesn't help the child feel loved, which doesn't help the child feel understood. So practicing self-compassion will help you to love yourself first, care for yourself first. The third thing is to become vulnerable, be unwilling to keep the secret of shame, because the longer you try to want to keep it as a secret, the shame grows stronger. The shame grows stronger as you keep silent about it. The shame grows stronger as you make it a secret or as you become more judgmental towards yourself. Shame grows stronger. When you learn to become vulnerable, to release, to let it go, don't try to hide it, let it go. That is one of the ways to overcome shame. Become vulnerable about it, but within a safe space, within people you trust. Share that story, or with a group you trust will support you in that journey of healing. Yes, so being vulnerable is a power, it's not a weakness. Sharing a story like this is not a weakness, it's a power. It's a power to say, I've overcome shame. Shame no longer holds me down. Rather, I've transcended the shame. I've overcome the obstacle that shame was to put in my along the path of my journey. Also, practices like mindfulness, very helpful to be able to keep in mind that what you have right now, this present moment, is a gift. While it past helped to bring you to this time, yes, there is a benefit in the past, but what you have right now in front of you is a beautiful gift that should not be colored by anything, whether coming from the past or whether being brought forward from the future. You have this beautiful moment. So mindfulness practices help you to be present in the experiences that you're having in this present moment, and so you can focus more on that and not on the past events. So those are very helpful practices that help you to overcome shame. I hope you find this video useful, and if you do, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and share with your friends. If you have not yet subscribed, the subscribe button is down below this video. Click on it and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss new uploads from me. Remember, we are completing this series about the 5 obstacles. In the next episode, we'll be talking about guilt and how to overcome guilt. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.